Yo, if you're living paycheck to paycheck and you're struggling to get out of that situation, then today's video is just for you, because in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 different ways that you can decrease your spending and hopefully work your way out of living paycheck to paycheck. Now, the very first thing you need to do before we can even jump into these 5 steps is you need to take 1 month where you live on basically nothing. This is the very first step to getting out of paycheck to paycheck. You need to just commit to the process and commit to living on basically scraps for a month. And I'm talking no non-survival purchases, no having fun if it costs money, no extra driving other than to and from work. You need to live like you're in a college dorm on ramen noodles and don't have anything. Now, doing this first and doing this during these steps will give you a nice reset in your mind, and it'll give you the chance to just kind of like start over again and just start from scratch and build up with a better foundation than you had before. Because think about it, you can either keep living paycheck to paycheck, or you can just commit to 1 month of suffering and be good to go forever after that with a new foundation. Now, the very first step you need to take is you need to find out where every single dollar of your money is going. So during this first month, keep track of all your expenses, all your spending, keep track of the things you might be overspending on without realizing it, and kind of just take a better look at what you're spending on, because sometimes the smallest things add up the most. So if you are someone who gets like Starbucks every other day, or gets like iced coffee or eats out a lot, this could potentially add up to hundreds of dollars a month without you even realizing it. And you need to designate a purpose for every dollar you make. So really take this time to write everything down and kind of just like dissect your like monthly income and try and divvy it out into what is needed and what is not needed, and just see like where the biggest slices of that pie are and figure out the things that are eating away at your chances of getting out of paycheck to paycheck. I think for the vast majority of people, if you just stop eating out completely and stop buying coffee every day and just make it at home, this will make a substantial difference in how much money you have left over. Now, the second step to take here is you need to negotiate your monthly bills. People don't really realize this, but literally everything is negotiable pretty much. So this could save you hundreds per year as well, and negotiating is just a great skill to have in general. What I'm talking about here is like, obviously you have a bunch of bills. You have your rent, you probably have car insurance, you might have health insurance or an internet bill or electricity. Pretty much all of these are negotiable. So what I would do is just take the time to call every single person involved with your bills, like call the company, and just see if you can get your bill lowered or if there's any other things you can do to get your costs down. Because a lot of places even have like discounts for paperless billing where they don't mail you something, or you can get discounts for paying online and things like that, or you can just get discounts just for straight up asking. So like I've even done this with my car insurance before, where I call them up and I'm like,
hey, is there any way that you could lower my bill, because I feel like it's really high and I'm kind of like scraping by right now? And
they'll be like,
Oh yeah, sure, here's like $30 off.
Now, I'm not saying this works all the time, but it's worth a shot, because I've even personally negotiated my rent down in this apartment. I've gotten $100 off for the entire lease, and when we went in to renew our lease like a month ago, they ended up trying to push our price back up to what it was before the discount, and then in addition to that, they were raising the price of rent. And so I asked them like, hey, do you think you can honor that discount that we got for the first year? And they were basically like,
Yeah, sure.
so, you know, you could do that. You could do that with Xfinity also, or your internet providers. So what I would do is just call them up at the end of your first 12 months, and you'll have to do this like every year to like stay up to date with this. But call them, basically say that you're trying to, that you found a better price with a different company, or that you're not able to afford it anymore and that you're looking to probably cancel your subscription with them. And they'll typically transfer you over to a customer retention department, where they basically will put someone on the phone that tries to convince you to stay with their company. And usually at this point, they'll start to offer you incentives. So they'll ask if you need like a lower bill, if it's too expensive. So what I did is I was first paying for 100 megabytes a second for my internet, and my monthly bill was about $50, and I rented the modem thing from them as well. And then at the end of the first year, they tried to jack the price up to like $70. I ended up going in and just trying to communicate with them and negotiate with them a little bit. And now I have 4 times the download speed, and I'm paying the same price as before. So it went from 50, and then they tried to increase it to 70, but I got them to bring it back down to 50 again, and I get 4 times the internet speed. Like I said, all you got to do is ask and just see what they say, because you'll probably be surprised. The third step to take here is if you don't already have a budget, then you need to automate your savings. So if you're someone who like knows that you overspend and you know that you don't keep track of everything, then you need to, at the very least, automate your savings. So this is so money can go into savings before you can even see it. And then naturally you'll spend less when you feel like you have less. So what I would do, personally, I use the app Acorns, and this is how I got started with growing my wealth and getting started with savings. Download Acorns or like some other app where you can automate your savings, where like every single paycheck paycheck, a certain amount of money comes out and goes into a different account or something like that. And then you'll end up getting yourself used to having less money, and you'll train your brain to not spend as much. Because if you have a lower amount in your checking account, you're probably not as willing to justify those like impulsive purchases or going to eat out. Whereas if you just have all your money in one spot, the more that cash pile grows, the more you feel like you can buy more stuff and expensive things. So I'd say above all else, this one is absolutely huge. So if you're paycheck to paycheck, I understand some people are already doing all these things and they're still paycheck to paycheck because you might have like a kid or like you don't have a roommate, you're living by yourself. Everyone's situation's different, but I'm just saying, like, if you can even automate like $50 a week or like $25 a week or something like that, taken out of your paycheck, and then over time just try and increase this more. Because if you do all these things together, I guarantee you can find at least $100 a month to put aside. Now, step 4 would be to cancel any unnecessary subscriptions. Now, this one is heavy. There's a lot of people out there that have a ton of subscriptions that they just never use. I mean, come on, be real with yourself. You need to either cancel them all and start fresh with what you use the most. So go through the list and just cancel every single one of them, even if you use it like every day. And then as you need them, resubscribe to them or subscribe to them only when you need them for like that month or something. And then the other option here is to really just take a look at which ones are giving you the most value for your money and eliminate the rest of them. So if you have like a Netflix subscription and Hulu and Amazon Prime and Disney Plus and a couple of different apps, plus you have like the Apple TV or, the Apple Arcade or like all those things, just go through and pick like 2 or 3 and be like, okay, which ones do I use like daily or weekly, and which ones do I get the most bang for my buck out of? So if you watch a lot of movies or TV shows, you could probably keep Netflix and Disney Plus. But if you only play like video games on your iPad or whatever like twice a month, then why are you paying for Apple Arcade? You don't need that. You could just play stuff for free online. And what's crazy is if you actually add all these up and you have like 5 to 10 different subscriptions, like typically the subscriptions are like 10 to 15 bucks a month. So I mean, that's already like $100 to $200 extra a month that you could be saving. And $100 to $200 extra is like your entire electricity bill and your entire internet bill and maybe another small bill. So those things alone can just get you some money back pretty fast. Now, the 5th step here is you need to avoid bank fees and getting overdrawn. So I've seen this a lot too, and I have some friends who actually do this, and it's really devastating to me, but basically they're living so tight with their money and they just don't keep track of their spending, when I know that they could actually have extra money, but they let themselves get so close to zero that almost every purchase they make triggers an overdraft fee. And usually these are like $34 or something on average, and so you're just shooting yourself in the foot, because it's like if you go and buy like some groceries and then you get overdrawn, now you're paying $35 just for buying groceries. Or if you go and buy like a $5 like snack from the gas station or something, and then you're overdrawn that $34, then you're just paying so much extra money for no reason, when all you have to do is just have a balance in your account that's enough to prevent these overdrafts from happening. Or you can just get another bank that doesn't have the overdraft fees. I would go as far as to say that if you have a monthly fee or overdraft fees, you probably should just switch banks. Go get a credit union. Don't be with one of those big banks. Get a bank that's online. Acorns even has this too. And you need to have enough in your account that you never go under to avoid these unexpected overdrafts. So say like $100 or maybe $500. That way, no matter what happens, there's never any surprises. And then if you're not someone who keeps track of everything like super strictly, then you don't really need to worry about it as much, because then if you open your account and you normally have 500 and then one day you have like 350 because you forgot about some bill that went through, then you're not going to be screwed, and you're not going to be like negative $100 plus the other 34 for the overdraft. So this is like a really silly way to lose money, honestly. So if you're someone who does this, you just need to be honest with yourself and just put a stop to it right now, because this is a horrible habit to have. All you need is a couple $100, and these are all things that you can start doing right now today. So just remember, don't fall victim to lifestyle inflation, and as you make more money and save up more money, be careful not to just increase your expenses just because you have more money. And this is one of the biggest money traps, and you need to be patient while you build yourself up. I actually made a video on this about a week ago on lifestyle inflation, so I'll link that somewhere and you can go check it out. But like I said before, you need to find ways to enjoy yourself without it costing anything while you build this up. And then after you do this for like a month, try to do it for another month, and then a third month. And then after that, you will have developed a new habit in a completely different way at looking at money, and the the money that you have. And then hopefully you can just start building up from there and finding other ways to cut back. And you just really need to do your diligence with this, write stuff down. It really doesn't take that long. You just got to sit down and just do it once. Once you do this for a little bit, it'll be way easier to continue this money mindset. Now, if you enjoyed today's video, please drop a like down below. And if you want to see more weekly content just like this, please hit that big fat red subscribe button down below as well with the little notification bell next to it. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.